Hi, my name is Isabel, a metaphysicist and global ambassador for Galactic Command Interplanetary Operations. And I want to talk to you today about the movie that came out, Steven Spielberg, Disclosure. I cannot express how uninterested I was hearing about this movie. I didn't want to research it because I've been on board a spaceship myself, and I'm here to tell you that how humans view disclosure is entirely different than how extraterrestrial beings, aliens, whatever you want to call it, actually view disclosure as reality and truth. So I want to share this information with you today. How does extraterrestrial beings view disclosure on this planet? What information are we talking about? And before I get into this, I want to give a quick introduction. Let you know, like you're probably wondering, how do I know this information? Who is Galactic Command and such? So, briefly, many years ago, I was starting to have syndrome of post-traumatic stress disorder, and I was diagnosed as such. And long story short, it turns out that my PTSD was due to alien visitations, and at the time I did not believe it. I I was like, no, like, oh, whatever, I'm masking something. And but the reality was that I started being visited in real time, and the visitation restarted again, and I was picked up in Canada, I was picked up in Guatemala. And through my remembering of extraterrestrial visitation and acquiring new ones, first, I thought there was a lot of shady things going on there. And if it was just an incident of living in the vast cosmos that we don't really fully understand, I would have been okay with that. I probably would just have stayed in Canada, kept my job, and healed my trauma and just regained society. Like, it would have been fine with me. But what I've discovered is there has been coalition, if you say, between certain extraterrestrial beings and humans. And the humans here on Earth, they have greatly benefited from these interactions with extraterrestrial beings at our expense. And when I discovered that, for some reason, like, it just lit up a fire inside of me. I was like, no, this is atrocious. I can't believe a human being would do that to another human being. And that just sent me on a whole other direction. So what I have been doing all of these years is master my skills and start studying the cosmos. For years, I sat quietly and I listen and I travel through consciousness billions of years and remember events in the cosmos that still shape how we interact with each other today and affect our culture or civilization as it stands today. So while I was doing that, I made sure that I kept my channel clean. I didn't want to indulge in like Bashar or Ashtar Command and all of these things. The reason be because I didn't want interference. I just wanted to make sure that what I was receiving was from my direct felt experiences. And I'm sharing this with you. I'm not discrediting Bashar or all of the other channelers out there or people who do such work. I'm sharing this with you so you know that everything that is shared on this particular channel comes from direct experiences that I personally had, either physically upstairs, being on board spaceships, or through meditations, or through the astral planes and other means of interacting with these beings. So in light of that, I've been doing this for many years. Like, I mean, I quit my job to do this full time. So I've been listening for a very long time. And eventually I came and I was studying the legal aspect of interplanetary operations. Like, what are the do's and don'ts? Who monitor these spaces? Are there actually rules of engagement? And turns out that they are. And through my studies, I came across Galactic Command Interplanetary Operations, which is a spacecraft carrier who oversees all of the legalities of interacting with offshore planets and civilizations. And they're here, they're right outside our solar system right now, and they're monitoring here on Earth. And I have recently received access to their database and also the proper energies and the credits, if you say, to start operating here on Earth on their behalf. So before I start laying out how that work looks like for me, what that entails for all of us, I just want to again express that Galactic Command would like you to know that there have been infractions on this planet as far as rules of engagement, as far as like going back 200,000 of years. And they're now here in this part of the galaxy to clean this up, to prosecute, and not only that, but to also help. So it's not like they're gonna come here and clean the place and then leave us like stranded. No, there are structures and educations in place to help us deal with the aftermath of all of that trauma, if you say, because it's not pretty. I'm not here to say like it's all roses here. It's not. But anyways, there's another aspect that is very amazing on the other side of that. But first thing first, when we think of extraterrestrial visitations and some of these beings that came here, there was a lot of genetic mutilation, if you say, or genetic, like gathering or genetic material to either help sell themselves or also conducting weird experiments, right? And some of these races, they do not always know that they're creating pain and suffering. Sometimes it's just a curiosity. It would be like us taking an animal that used to live in pack and say, hey, you come and live alone with me. And meanwhile, we think we're treating this animal with all the love and the light and respect, but this animal is super depressed, it's missing its pack, and that kind of stuff. So it gets pretty intertwined. But through my practice, I have people who comes to me and they are under negative extraterrestrial influences. They're aware of it, they just don't know how to break free of it. So what happens in that space is I get to call Galactic Command and I get to say, no, you have to cease and desist, you have to pack your shit and you have to go. You are not to have any more contact with this client and this person, and Galactic Command will stay with this person for some time to make sure that everything is fine. Now, on the other side of that is these people, and myself included, were microchipped. And we're not microchipped because E.T.s wants to come and find us. They come and find us through our auric field, which is like a kilometer wide. Like they don't need human technologies to find us. So this microchip actually goes into underground facilities and database, secret government facilities, so to speak. And they observe these experiments and they gather information from them for their own very nefarious reasons, control and this sort of thing. So bad influence on society so they can gain power, and like it's unbelievable. In that space as well, I still get to go energetically and read their Miranda rights. And to be fair, Galactic Command is a lot more harder on human beings than they are on, let's say, E.T.s who didn't know they were creating pain and suffering, because the humans, they know they're creating pain and suffering and they're service to self and not service to others, and that's a big slap. So on a collective level, how have all we been impacted by these energies and these deals that were made, right? So there was a study by Dr. Church. George Church is a geneticist that was done many years ago, and he discovered that he could take a book that he had written about genetic and he translated it in ways that could be downloaded on a human DNA strand. And he discovered that he could download his book 70 billion times on 1 cubic meter of genetic material, of DNA. That's huge. So essentially, we are huge, like massive storage devices. We are. And what's happening here is with all of the electromagnetic field, like all the radiation we're exposed to through phones, to Bluetooth, to Wi-Fi, and all of this, towers and all the likes, is we pick up sometimes like the imagery that was given. It's like a sea turtle that has like barnacles attached on a sea turtle, and eventually it's too much, it bogs down, it starts like swimming sideways and can potentially drown even. So we have been gathering some kind of like a version of that, and that stores into our DNA and it bogs down our system. It makes it harder to access the light, brain fog, create confusion, and also could very well be the root of the Mandela effects, right? Because divide and conquer. So if we can store a different memory, and then it's easier to control the population, so to speak, because we're creating confusion. So essentially, Galactic Command and Interplanetary Operations, they're here to remind us that for them, disclosure is not about whether E.T.s and alien exist or not. It's also the deals that were made with those human beings and the impact that they had on our own society. That is also the disclosure, is the human aspect of it and how we've been impacted. Now, we always have the power to get back into our own sovereign beings and not be affected by sea barnacles and the likes. But to move forward with this lecture, because I want to keep it concise and short. So, who are these groups of individuals? Like, what business are we talking about here? Who had a huge play into our human evolutions at our own expense and gaining massive profits from it? I'm not allowed to outright name them, but if I did, and you have to read between the lines here, it would sound like something like this, like Doodle, Fishbook, Rapta, or Mockheed and Larton. You get the gist here, right? So if you're one of these beings and you're listening and watching this video right now, I'm here to tell you that you're game over. Like, you're about to be completely decimated into oblivion. You do not have the wits, you do not have the protections, you do not have the powers or the technology to stop this. You're completely out of the game at this state in our evolution. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do is perhaps to redeem yourself, to lower your sentence and the back blow that's going to come for you. And do that by switching from being self-serving to serving the collective, and be honest about what happened. And perhaps you have some redeeming qualities. I don't know. But if you need help with that, you can contact me. I'll be happy to guide you along the way, so it is harmonious for us all, the process that is. So these companies, they have been made aware, I think it was 2 years ago, if not longer, that they know themselves the time is up. They know they have to come out and say all of this stuff, and they have to do disclosure. So what did they do? They put a little movie out there so they can check the box. Done. It's not it. It's not it. That's not it. From an extraterrestrial point of view, you have not done your job. And that was an opportunity for them to come clean, to lesser their sentence. And now it's not been done properly. And I don't know how much of a window they still have. But really, Galactic Command, they just want to come down here and do it themselves. If push comes to shove, this is what it's going to come down to. I'm not making the rules here. I'm not writing this story. I'm just telling you what I see, what I know, what I've experienced, and that is it. So, if you have been one of these individuals and you're currently being negatively impacted by, or you're suffering from negative extraterrestrial influence, or the aftermath of it, maybe they leave you alone, but you still have like some issues to heal, to restore your energetic vessel, I do offer private sessions, and my price are donation based, because honestly, I don't want to leave anyone behind just because of a paywall or people suffering for no reason. And what's in it for me? I just want to live in an environment where there's harmony, where there's peace, where we look after one another, that is resourceful, that is beautiful, and that's what I do. Also, owning a private island in the middle of the ocean used to be a huge flex. How did we mess this up so bad that this is going to be burned in our history book for centuries to come, if not for the rest of our human civilizations? Like, I guess it's inconceivable. And as far as the files go, because there's so much energy around it, like people have not forgotten. Neither we should forget about these files. We shouldn't forget about these people. They should see the light of the day and get justice. There's absolutely, it has to happen, right? But it's almost like the last piece that they got to create distraction. So what I'm trying to say here, it's not whether the file is going to be exposed or not. It's to pay attention to when. And when the files comes out, I'm not saying hey, don't pay attention to the file. No, but I'm just also inviting you to pay attention to what is also happening, because I have a strong suspicion, because I've been watching this game for many years now, going back and forth, that they're holding on to the files. So when shit really hit the fans, they can say, hey, oh, by the way, here's the file. And they can run around and try to, it's a distraction. They're going to use it as a distraction, sadly. And that's what I foresee for now. And that's what I feel. But anyways, there is a whole other side to that. In a way that what's going to be coming out, it's not going to be pretty for us. It's going to be hard perhaps to integrate. It's going to be shocking. It's going to be unpleasant. There's going to be feelings of betrayal and the likes. And I don't want to cast doom and gloom here. The reason I'm sharing this with you is I want you to understand and know that it's also an opportunity to heal ourselves, our governments, our relationships with ourselves and the world and nature and our resources, all of it. There is, at the end of the day, it's only a speed bump in our evolution, because we cannot build palaces of light on a shady foundation. And essentially, it's just strengthening our foundation, making sure it's solid, so then we can build on top of it. And what we get to build on top of it is so freaking amazing. I will be making another video about it, just so you have an idea. So when you start seeing the real disclosure, you get to actually have hope to see like, hey, I know it sucks right now, but I get a mental picture to see what's possible if we get through this together. And hopefully that's the fuel that can help some of us to really get there. It's a learning curve, but honestly, I feel like it's so worth it as a civilization, and it's going to be fantastic too. And if you must go see, and I'm not discouraging you to go see this movie, Disclosure, but again, the answers are always within. We just have to prompt them out of ourselves by asking the right questions. So as you're going to go see this movie, please stay tuned, stay in your feeling, sensing, and if something feels weird, ask question, be a detective. Hey, why am I feeling like this? Like what is wrong with this picture? Why are we being shown this? Like, ask questions, ask questions. I don't have any more answers than you do, or access to answers than you do. The only difference is I've been sitting asking questions for years, 6 of them, like it was a full-time job with overtime and no vacation. Seriously. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want more information in this regard, Galactic Command, you have questions, please consider subscribing to my channel. Comments, like, and share with people you feel would be happy to receive such information. Thank you so much for watching me today, and I hope you come back. Bye.